What's happening, everybody? We're about to get down with another Quickie Accountability Success Circle Quickie, that is. This is going to be Quickie number 61, where we're going to be talking about how you can get yourself ready for that time change that's coming up. So if you are watching this live or the replay, let us know. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. Hit those buttons, and we're going to get started in just a moment. Starting to see a few little hearts and stuff come through.
Yay.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
Gary, you're getting really good at our intros.
right?
It's like you're like, I know it's like you're saying the same thing every time, but I'm like, oh, it's really like jiving today.
Yeah, the timing. Getting the timing down. That's what it's all about with the quickies. All right.
Hey,
All right, let's get started. Yes. What's happening, everyone? My name is
What's
Gary
up?
Ware. I'm joined by the ever so fabulous.
Which way? When I
way.
point
Yep.
that way,
There we go.
like high five.
5. There we go. All right. There it is.
Cool.
April Schluter, and we are the success team here at the Accountability Success Circle, and this is the next quickie. And as this title suggests, this is all about getting your mind, body, and spirit ready for the upcoming time change.
I know.
Right? Yes. And if you're in an area that adjusts their clocks, it will be happening this Sunday. So we figured, since the people who jive with us are people that love to have fun and get stuff done, why not be a little bit smarter, get a little bit ahead of it, so that when the time does change, we just give ourselves half a chance. And so we have some really cool strategies to help us with that. And so, April, let's just dive into it, right?
All right. You want me to do number one?
You want to do number one? All right, cool. Number one, everybody. It is.
It's all about the sleep schedule. All right. So when Gary and I were thinking about this, we're like, okay, do we get an extra hour of sleep or do we lose an hour? We were all confused because this is that time of the year where you have to think about it. So we're going to save you the trouble, and we will gain an hour of sleep, because once it gets to 2 o'clock, it becomes 1 o'clock, which means you get to relive that hour again, which is good news because we get more sleep, which is sometimes what we ask for. Now, we lose it in the spring, but let's not think about that right now because it's all about the fall. So what we want to think about when we're gaining that hour of sleep is make use of it. Don't sit there and be like, well, we're going to get an hour back, so I'm going to stay up an hour later. Let's take advantage of the sleep that we already feel that we should get and start recalibrating ourselves to that earlier sleep time instead of, completely bypassing it. So, the next night comes around, you're going to bed, maybe your bedtime's at 11. I've actually been thinking about this. I'm like, I want to go to bed earlier. So now it's going to be, my body gets tired around midnight. So now it might get tired around 11, but I'm going to still try to go a little bit earlier than that. So, allow yourself to recalibrate to that earlier sleep schedule if that's what works for you. I don't know if people are like, I need to sleep later. I don't know if I've ever met anybody like that. Not to say that that's not a thing, but for most of us, we want to get that earlier sleep time. We want to, we're going to start to naturally feel tired around that time. And so make use of that extra hour and get adjusted as early as possible and as quickly as possible. Gary, you have anything to add?
No, you nailed it. It's all about just knowing your body's going to feel the effects. The clock is going to say 9 o'clock is going to feel like 10 o'clock. Jump into it. Embrace it. It is what it is. It reminds me of, when, the tip that they give you when you travel to another time zone. Get on that time zone as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then that brings me to number 2, which is all about grabbing all that sunlight. And so this one is gradually been happening, since I think September, where the it's getting darker earlier and it's not getting light as early as it used to. And so our window of sunlight is condensing and it's condensing and it's condensing. And, you know, you might be the person where like you gotten that level of sunlight just by circumstance of like, oh, you go out in the morning to go to work and then you come home, and then you're getting that and you're getting vitamin D. Well, guess what? If you are not intentional, you're probably going to start, feeling it, not getting that vitamin D. So a few things here. One, there ain't nothing wrong with taking some vitamin D supplements. You know, if that feels good to you, take advantage of it. I had been taking some for a hot minute now. Especially just trying to boost up my immunities and stuff like that. So I'm just going to keep riding that train. And then the other thing is, is all about, how can you adjust your schedule accordingly so that, you can make use of the sun. I remember in a previous life when I worked for a digital marketing agency and the time zone changed. We used to joke around. We are like, when was the last time we saw the sun? Because we would get to the office super early and I'd be in one of those offices that didn't have a lot of natural sunlight. And then we would be working all day and then we leave at like 6 or so and it was already dark. So again, that over time will start to have an effect on you. April, what do you got?
I don't have much to add there. I mean, you're making me feel like I need to take vitamin D, especially since it's like colder over here. And I feel like we get, even though you guys are in like sunny San Diego, I still feel like there's still relatively more sun. So that's a new learning that I got today. But yeah, I think that, if you are somebody who really is in that place where you want to nail down a morning routine a little bit better, the sunlight can actually be your barrier windows of like, let's do this while the sun is happening, because you'll have more energy and all that stuff. And then when it starts to like settle down in the afternoon, early evening, that's when you can start, preparing yourself for bed, which goes back to my tip that I was just talking about for number 1. But yeah. Anyways, should we share number 3?
Number 3.
All right. Look at your meeting commitments with other time zones. So that was kind of funny because this was the one that we realized like, oh, are we meeting at this time? No, it's most of the people who are, in the US, we do daylight saving. So for the most part, what state is it? Is it Arizona?
Arizona doesn't go back in. I'm not sure about Hawaii, but there might be some other folks as well that don't. So again, just look into that in advance. How about this week? If you have some meetings with people in other time zones, especially since we are doing so many distributed workspaces where people working remote from all over the world. Not everyone recognizes daylight savings time and adjusts their clocks.
And I don't know how that shifts in terms of like a calendar meeting that is linked to two different people's. I mean, it'll probably be whoever's sending it, but does that then all of a sudden change on the other person's calendar? And just making sure. So if you're talking to a lot of people in various time zones, especially out of the country or in Arizona, you might just want to double check. Like I think, next week I was, as an example, we're going to Mexico, Cabo San Lucas, which is currently 1 hour behind us. And my friend who sent me the dinner reservations sent them to me, but they showed up as, an hour later. And then I said, well, with daylight savings, does that change? And what time is it actually in local so that I can adjust my calendar accordingly? Because it looks like it's at 7 o'clock and I just want to have a heads up. I'm like, no, that's going to be 5 o'clock. So I'm like, oh, okay. So just making sure that you know where you need to be when, and that, nothing got mistranslated, just so you don't completely miss an appointment. So that's that. And do we have a bonus tip today?
We have a bonus. And here we go. Hold on. I was trying to be cool with it and do some like cool stuff.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say well enough for it.
I know. I was like, yeah, we do. And that bonus is...
Dun, 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 dun.
Is it going to do it? Give yourself grace. Oh man, it's gonna be wacky. It's gonna be wacky. Your body's gonna be adjusting. There might be some things that are like some flubs, and you're like, oh, what happened to this? You might start feeling, drowsy.
You're gonna be
So
like,
if
oh, 4 o'clock. You're like, it's so dark already. I'm dreading that on
yeah,
Sunday night. But
but go into it knowing, hey, look, I'm gonna do the best that I can, and that's all that all that we can do. Because again, if you're really like just hard on yourself, expecting you to be something that is there's a lot of stuff that is in our control, and some things that aren't. So just you know take your time.
yeah. And always remember that the upside of this is that we get an extra hour of sleep. So there is some benefit to this change, even though they slam you with it like it's dark. Um, you you win some, you lose some. You get some good stuff, you get some not so good stuff. So those are our tips. And again, this is a little tip that we like to, weekly quickie tip thing that we want to share every so often. I know that we've been off for the last month because we were heavy into our 2022 planning, which went amazing. But this is all stemming from the types of conversations that we have at the Accountability Success Circle, which is my dog, which is a community of people who are like, maybe I need to mute myself, who are focused on accomplishing goals in the most fun way. And we're here to help each other, support each other in accomplishing all of those personal and professional goals. So if you're interested in being a part of an online community that can kind of keep you accountable to the things that you want to accomplish, come and join us. So accountabilitysuccesscircle.com. And my dog wanted to say hi, so he says, hello.
Hi, Zeke.
So anyways,
Yes.
that's our quickie for now, and we will check in with you again in the next
Yeah,
week or
in a few
two.
weeks. Yes.
Yay!
So, all right. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Let us know in the comments. And yeah, we'll talk to you all later.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.